Well, good morning. Here it is. It's Friday. We've made it to Friday morning. I know I haven't been with you since Monday because we were at children's camp. But anyway, here it is Friday. Today is, of course, May 24th, and I certainly hope that you've had a good week. And since Monday, and hope that you've been able to accomplish some things this week, and get some things done. I know, like I said, we had a great week at children's camp down at Sire Lake, east of Binger. It was a good week. Good for the kids. We had a good group of kids that went. And anyway, now here it is Friday morning, and I hope this morning finds you feeling well. I hope that you're well rested. I hope you're ready to tackle the opportunities that God has given us on this Friday morning, and we're on the threshold of a weekend. And so, anyway, this morning I want to share a devotional with you entitled, "excuse me, on God's Side." The feeding of the 5,000 was Jesus' one of his most popular. It was the most popular miracle to date. And John, he tells us in John chapter 6, verses 14 and 15, when the people saw him do this miraculous sign, they exclaimed, "Surely he is the prophet we have been expecting." When Jesus saw that they were ready to force him to be their king, he slipped away into the hills by himself. You see, the people, they were planning to come and take Jesus by force and make him their king. In other words, that is it. We just voted. Jesus, you are king. And if you don't like it, too bad. You see, they wanted the kind of king that, gave them, meals every day. But God will not be used by people. Now, he wants to use, people, but he will not, he'll not be used by them. Now, sometimes people will use God. They will invoke, the name of the Lord, when, they need something from people who believe in him. I mean, for example, politicians are very fond of this. I mean, when an election cycle comes, along, they're suddenly talking about their faith in God and, how important, their faith is to them. But you see, when we look at their voting record, we can see where they stand on issues that are important to followers of Jesus Christ. Religious rhetoric isn't going to cut it. As Abraham Lincoln wrote, "My concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right." Of course, politicians aren't the only ones who invoke God's name to get what they want. I mean, sometimes business people will do it to get a sale. Now it's great. It's a great thing when, we want to glorify God through a business. But you see, our witness will be in the work that we do well. The day after Jesus performed, the miracle of the feeding of the 5,000, actually plus people, he taught about the most important things in life. And he told them in John chapter 6, verse 27, "But don't be so concerned about perishable things like food. Spend your energy seeking the eternal life that the Son of Man can give you. For God the Father has given me the seal of his approval." And then he also said a few verses later in John 6:35, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." See, in other words, he said, "I have filled your stomachs, but I am the bread of life. This is what you ought to be living for." Now, sadly, after Jesus finished the sermon, most of the people, they walked away from him. And he turned to his own disciples and he said then in verse 67, "Are you also going to leave?" And then Peter replied in verse 68, "Lord, to whom would we go? You have the words that give eternal life." Yet, you see, the fickle, fair-weather people, they turned away after they had their free meal because, you see, they didn't like what Jesus said. You see, people use God, and God doesn't appreciate it. Don't use God to get something from someone else. The key is to let God, use you. That's what we need to be doing as believers in Jesus Christ. We need to allow God to permeate our lives, to permeate our whole being, so that he can use us to be, the disciples that he wants us to be. He wants us to be, the witnesses for him out in a world that is dark. We live in a very dark world, and our world needs to see the light that we give off because of the reflection of Jesus off of us. And so anyway, hope that encourages you here on this Friday morning. I hope you have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend. As always on Friday, if you find yourself close to Hydro on Sunday morning and you don't have a place to worship, come join us at Hydro First Baptist Church. We would love for you to come and worship with us. But anyway, Angie and I, we love you guys. We're praying for you, and Lord willing, I'll probably see you on Tuesday morning. I'll probably take off on Monday. So anyway, have a great weekend. God bless.